The conclusion of the information lifecycle is perhaps the most significant stage for a professional tasked with managing organizational liability and technical efficiency. This episode covers the final phase of the data journey, which is the defensible disposition of records that have reached the end of their useful and legal lives. Typically, an organization that fails to master this final step becomes burdened by a growing mountain of digital debris that increases both cost and risk. In practice, disposition is not a casual act of deletion, but a formal, strategic process that requires as much oversight as the initial collection of data. What this means is that we are moving toward a state of intentional data hygiene, where every bit of information is accounted for until the moment of its permanent removal. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Defensible disposition is formally defined as the systematic, authorized, and documented destruction of data that no longer possesses any operational, fiscal, or legal value to the organization. It is the structured counterweight to records retention, ensuring that once a mandated period has expired, the information is removed in a manner that can be justified to any external authority. In practice, this process prevents the organization from holding onto toxic data that could be used against it in future litigation or regulatory audits. Typically, a successful disposition program is one that operates quietly and consistently in the background of daily business operations. Establishing this level of professional rigor ensures that the organization remains lean and focused only on the information that truly supports its mission and its legal safety. A fundamental requirement for any professional is to practice by ensuring that any data marked for deletion is not currently under an active litigation hold or a regulatory freeze. If a hold is in place, it acts as a mandatory stop sign that overrides any standard retention schedule or automated deletion task. In practice, a technologist must consult with the legal department to verify the hold status of a data set before executing a final disposition command. Typically, a failure to perform this simple check is how organizations accidentally destroy evidence and find themselves facing severe judicial sanctions. What this means is that the disposition process must be tightly integrated with the organization's legal early warning systems to prevent the accidental loss of critical information. A critical and potentially devastating pitfall in modern corporate governance is the act of deleting data in a way that looks suspicious or suggests a desire to hide evidence from a court. When data is removed irregularly or immediately following the threat of a lawsuit, it can create a strong perception of bad faith, regardless of the actual intent. In practice, the legal system has a very low tolerance for any action that undermines the integrity of the discovery process. Typically, judges look for a consistent pattern of behavior to determine whether a deletion was a routine event or an attempt at spoliation. By adhering to a transparent and documented schedule, the organization ensures that its data removal is viewed as a responsible and professional business activity rather than a hidden or deceptive one. You can achieve a significant and immediate quick win for your governance program by documenting the specific business or legal reason for every batch of data you destroy. This documentation should link the destruction event back to the specific line in your retention schedule that authorized the action. In practice, having this reason code on file provides your team with an instant and defensible answer if the deletion is questioned years later during an audit or a lawsuit. Typically, this level of detail is what separates an unmanaged cleaning spree from a professional and legally sound disposition program. What this means is that you are building a permanent record of your data's end of life, ensuring that every action is supported by a clear and valid organizational justification. Visualize the professional clarity and operational ease of a clean and efficient data center where only the most relevant and necessary files remain in active storage. In such an environment, system performance is optimized, backup windows are significantly shorter, and the cost of maintaining high-performance storage is kept to a minimum. Typically, this level of technical hygiene also translates into a much faster and less expensive e-discovery process, as there is less data to search and filter during a crisis. In practice, a lean data environment is much easier for a security team to protect, as the attack surface of old and forgotten records has been eliminated. This visualization serves as a powerful reminder that the work of disposition is a direct investment in the overall productivity and resilience of the entire enterprise. In the legal domain, we frequently use the phrase routine business practice to explain and justify why files were deleted according to a preset and consistently followed schedule. When a company can prove that it follows the same disposal rules every month, year after year, it is much harder for an opponent to claim that a specific deletion was an act of evidence tampering. In practice, the routine nature of the activity is its primary defense, as it shows the court that the organization was simply following its standard operating procedures. Typically, judges are much more sympathetic to organizations that have a disciplined history of data management than those that act sporadically or in response to a crisis. What this means is that consistency is the most valuable professional asset you can have when defending your disposition practices. Reviewing your specific destruction methods on a regular basis ensures that sensitive data cannot be recovered by unauthorized parties after it has been officially disposed of. In the world of digital forensics, a simple delete command often leaves the original bits intact on the drive, making them easily recoverable with standard software. In practice, professional disposition requires a more rigorous approach, such as overwriting the data multiple times or using cryptographic erasure where the encryption keys are permanently destroyed. Typically, the choice of method depends on the sensitivity of the information and the type of storage media being used by the organization. This technical oversight ensures that your disposal process is as secure as it is legal, protecting the organization from the risks of post-destruction data leakage. It is worth taking a moment to consider the profound risk of identity theft and corporate espionage if your organization simply throws old hard drives or physical files into the trash without proper wiping or shredding. This type of careless disposal is a leading cause of data breaches and can result in massive fines under privacy regulations like the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, or the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. In practice, even retired hardware often contains remnants of highly sensitive information, such as passwords, customer lists, and financial records. Typically, a professional governance program requires a certified chain of custody for all physical media until it is proven to be completely unreadable. This realization highlights why the last mile of data management is a high-stakes responsibility that requires total technical and administrative precision. Every professional should anchor their disposition strategy in the dual goals of reducing long-term legal liability and improving overall organizational efficiency. When you remove old data, you are essentially reducing the number of targets that an opposing counsel can use to find harmful information during a future legal dispute. In practice, a smaller dataset also means that the organization can respond to regulatory requests and customer inquiries with much greater speed and accuracy. Typically, the most successful practitioners are those who can communicate these benefits to the leadership team to secure the resources needed for a formal program. What this means is that you are treating the destruction of data as a strategic business decision that pays huge dividends in both security and productivity. We have now discussed the essential legal safeguards and the technical procedures required for removing data from your environment permanently and safely. By establishing a formal and defensible disposition workflow, you are completing the circle of information governance and protecting the organization from the risks of unmanaged data bloat. Typically, the most effective teams are those where the technical administrators, the legal counsel, and the records managers work in total harmony to execute the final stage of the life cycle. In practice, this ensures that the organization remains compliant with its privacy promises while maintaining a lean and efficient technical infrastructure. This integrated approach to disposition is what differentiates a mature and well-governed digital enterprise from one that is merely hoarding data without a plan. A highly effective way to execute these disposals is to use specialized software that meets or exceeds government standards, such as those from the Department of Defense, DoD, for overwriting data on physical and virtual storage drives. These tools provide a verifiable and repeatable way to ensure that the information is truly gone and cannot be reconstructed by forensic experts. In practice, the software generates a detailed report for every drive or volume wiped, providing the necessary evidence for your certificate of destruction archives. Typically, using these industry-standard methods is what allows the organization to claim a state-of-the-art approach to data protection and legal compliance. What this means is that you are using technical engineering to provide a high-level guarantee of your organization's commitment to data privacy and security. Executing disposition with professional discipline ensures that your organization remains lean, agile, and significantly less vulnerable to the massive costs and risks associated with legal discovery. When the noise of irrelevant and expired records is removed, the truly important signal of your active business data becomes much easier to manage and protect. Typically, the presence of a mature disposition program is viewed by external auditors and insurance carriers as a sign of superior organizational health and professional competence. In practice, the energy you spend on perfecting your disposal workflows today is what ensures your organization remains a respected and legally sound leader in the global digital economy. This focus on the final stage of the life cycle is what ensures that your governance program is a verified and trusted reality. This session on the essentials of executing defensible disposition is now complete, and you have gained a solid understanding of how to safely remove records from your organizational environment. We have discussed the definition of defensible disposition, the importance of avoiding the spoliation trap, the role of routine business practices, and the necessity of using secure, verified destruction methods. A warm and very practical next step for your own professional growth is to take a moment today and verify that your own digital trash is actually being emptied according to your organization's policies. As you do so, consider whether the records you are deleting today are truly expired and whether a record of their removal will be preserved for the future. Moving forward with this observant and disciplined mindset will help you ensure that your organization's information lifecycle is always complete, safe, and fully defensible.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.